Hey guys, it's Paul, and I wanted to tell you that I recorded this entire episode into the back of my microphone. So there's another little bonus for you, and you can thank me for the fact that I sound like I'm recording the entire thing trapped inside a Norwegian research facility. I'm an asshole. Please forgive me. And now, here's the episode.
The following podcast is for mature listeners. Although looked at in a light-hearted manner, some content may be graphic and gruesome. Also, due to the host's complete lack of maturity, those easily offended will probably be offended.
It's movie night.
That's fine. I got no problem with Troll 2.
We have to do Troll 2. What the fuck's going on? I'm getting... email from...
Me.
Jake. Someone sent me emails during the episode. It's unprofessional.
Sorry. At least they weren't dick pics.
Oh, I haven't opened it yet. All right, listen. We are going to talk about today on Jake and
Paul's Spooky Fun Time Hour.
Movie night depths. John Carpenter's The Thing. And this, Jake, you have to carry this one because this movie is one of your favorites, right? Is it your favorite movie?
It is arguably, it varies because I always end up rewatching some of my top 3, top 5, and I'm always back and forth. This movie, however, this 1982 piece of cinematic fucking platinum awesomeness was bestowed upon us by the dark and tormented mind of John Carpenter and the stoic yet broodingly handsome looks of one Kurt Russell.
And may I just say that this is prime Kurt Russell.
Oh, this is Kurt Russell,
period.
like R.J. McCready, which is his character in the movie. Snake Plissken, Escape from New York. Not to mention the...
Also John Carpenter, by the way.
Also John Carpenter, and the lovely rom-com with Goldie Hawn, Overboard.
By the way, they're married, right?
Married in real life.
Not married, but together.
They are together, yes.
They have... Who's their kid? They have a famous kid, don't they?
Jesus.
They do.
Yeah, his name is Jesus.
They do. Well, that's the other kid.
That was the first one.
Who the fuck is it? There's somebody. It doesn't matter. I don't know why.
Anyhow, let's get to where we need to go, which is
Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson? Damn.
Kate Hudson
they make
is
a good-looking kid.
Well, I don't think she's Kurt Russell's, though.
You don't know that?
I think that Kurt's her stepdad.
I mean, that's still cool. That's really cool.
Fuck yeah. I wish my stepdad was Kurt Russell.
Yeah, I wish my stepdad was present.
Oh.
Fuck!
I wish my stepdad was the president. Donald Trump.
Whoa! T-Dog. Anyhow.
The greatest stepdad of all time. It'd be tremendous.
Huge. Absolutely huge.
Huge stepdad cock.
So this movie takes place in a very cold, very seedy Antarctica.
Which is one of the cool things about this movie is that this is happening, right? We're going to talk about what happens in the movie. A lot of people probably already know. Honestly, if you haven't watched the movie, we're going to just spoil the shit out of everything, so you should probably watch the movie and then get back to us.
Absolutely.
But it's one of the coolest things about the movie is how isolated they are from everything.
That's what kind of builds...
There's nobody else.
Yeah, there's nobody there around to come and help, save, protect, anything. None of that. It's what builds to the suspense of everything involved in this movie.
Yeah. I think before we start really getting into it, I think that because I had never seen this movie. I'd heard a lot about it. I think that maybe I should talk about what I thought of it
Sure.
before we start
Yeah,
talking more about
absolutely.
the movie?
I'm not going to be offended. I probably will judge you for the remainder of our friendship if you do not like
which will
movie.
be till the end of this podcast, right? If I say the wrong things.
Yeah.
This movie, I did like this movie, right? I had a hard time with this movie, Jake. And I think that I did it to myself.
Okay.
Because of the way I watched it. Because I kind of watched it over like a couple sessions. Like I would watch a little bit, then I had to go, then I watched some more. But I did like this movie. I do think that I think that it got overhyped for me, and I was expecting, this is probably like, I would say, even out of like John Carpenter's movies, like fourth.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm thinking like even John Carpenter's movies, like, again, I'm not shitting on this movie. I enjoyed it.
I understand.
I liked it. But I mean, even if you just talk John Carpenter's, I mean, I'm going Halloween over this. I'm taking Big Trouble in Little China over this.
Well, all right. So
I'm going They Live over this.
They Live. I'm not taking Halloween.
That's probably it. Then probably the thing. Halloween is it's just nostalgic, I think, more than good.
Exactly. And I feel like
it is good.
People that love movies like Halloween, The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China, it's because it is a huge nostalgia factor for them. And they had some sort of connection with it in an early stage in their life, and that's why they love it the way that they do. And that's kind of why I love the movie The Thing as much as I do. It was one of the first horror movies that I ever watched.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And obviously, like, it came out in 82. I was born in 85, so it had already been out.
Yeah, I missed out on that because I just watched it now. So there's no nostalgia at all. It's just me
now, as far as
the
like the overhype factor, totally understand that because I was probably talking your ear off left and right about it. But the thing that I like about this movie, about The Thing.
The thing about The Thing
is that, like, you have to go into this understanding that it's 1982. Like, the CGI and special effects in this are not what you're going to get in a movie like today. There's not going to be anything, like, the acting is not going to be fucking tip-top. No one's getting an Academy Award.
Wait, so the CGI thing, there is no CGI.
I guess if anything's a CGI, it would be the intro to the movie with, like, the alien spaceship, like, coming, like, entering the Earth's atmosphere. That's about as the extent of the CGI that you're going to get in this movie.
Well, you get that, and then you get the scene where he's, like, analyzing the cells from the alien on the computer.
Which is ridiculous. It looks
and it's
like
just
something...
like 100% mimic. It looks like an Atari game.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like an Atari game. It looks like you're playing Pitfall.
Yeah. But my favorite thing, hands down, about this movie is the special effects. Because, in my opinion, fuck CGI.
I firmly agree. And that's why guys like John Carpenter and Guillermo del Toro are good at what they do. Because they don't want to cash in on the CGI and stuff like that. They like to do old school effects. Like, even in Guillermo del Toro's movies, like, all of his monsters are all people in suits, as opposed to just throwing, like, a guy in a green suit and throwing CGI effects on him.
Yeah, right. It's all practical effects. It's what made the original Star Wars movies so fucking
exactly.
good.
But let's actually get into the plot of this movie as opposed to
let's do it.
All right, so
Wilfred Brimley's there.
Wilfred Brimley. This is pre-diabetes testing supplies commercials.
Yeah, he might have had the diabetes.
He looked like my man was a little thick in the gills. So, like we said, this movie starts in Antarctica. There's a research team there, led by Kurt Russell and Wilfred Brimley.
Actually, it was led by the other guy.
Childs?
Donald Moffat's character was actually like the
but I mean the protagonist of this movie.
Yeah, it's all Kurt Russell.
All Kurt Russell.
From the second he steps on the screen with
that
fucking mullet.
He's playing computer chess, and while he's drinking E&J. Like, the guy's he's a stallion. Anyhow,
and the thing about that, like, it opens up with Kurt Russell playing computer chess, and he loses, and he kind of gets and he just fucking destroys
the computer.
The computer, like, dude, you can't get another one of those. You can't go to Best Buy and pick up another computer. You just fucking ruined your computer. You're in Antarctica. What, are you going to wait for the next fucking supply drop?
Exactly.
That was what I was thinking.
So yeah, so
Like,
it starts off with this helicopter flying towards this wolf that's like running away from the helicopter, and they're shooting at this wolf because they obviously think there's something wrong with it. Well, it comes upon Kurt Russell and his team's research station, and this guy who has an affinity for dogs, shelters him, and then this like Norwegian...
He really liked dogs, didn't he?
Loved dogs.
Loved dogs.
Sexually. Not really. But,
maybe.
Possibly. So then the Norwegian helicopter stops. There's a standoff. Norwegian guys die. They bring the dog in. They think something's a little weird with the dog, but they throw it in the kennel with the rest of the dogs.
They kill the Norwegian guy.
They kill him. There was a standoff. He's dead.
They think that he lost his fucking mind.
Which is possible considering, like what we mentioned earlier, you're in this frozen tundra in this isolated area with no one else to talk to.
Right.
Well, they put the dog in with the rest of their dogs, and then they decide to go check out the Norwegian base, and they see all these frozen dead people, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Which, hey, by the way, fun fact: that Norwegian base is actually their base. It's the same building. It's the same structure. They made it look like it had been disheveled. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah. So then they're like, oh, well, what the fuck's going on? Well, while there's like, it's Kurt Russell and a couple other people are, figuring out what's going on with the Norwegian place, Norwegian base camp, I should say. This dog that they had rescued started to like metamorphosize into like this alien-like creature and was trying to absorb the other dogs.
Yeah. That's the weird thing. So the thing in this movie is this like alien life form that can mimic
its
host. It basically like takes over. It's almost like a body snatcher situation, but gorier. Like it gets messy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's like tentacles and a lot of dog, Cerebus hybrid looking things and whatnot.
When you expose the thing, it gets gnarly.
I just remember being a kid and seeing like that dog creature for the first time and crying.
Oh, dude, that was
and just flat out crying.
Did you cry?
Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck? What's going on?"
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
All fat in my pajamas.
Actually, when this movie came out, critics hated it because it was so gory. Like, it got bashed. It got destroyed because of, like, they basically said it's, like, gore porn. Like, they made this movie just to try and shock people. It's not actually, like, a good story. Which is not true. It is a good story.
And what's funny is that, like, if this movie were to come out now, people would go fucking bananas for it.
It would be your PG. Like, you'd be able to take your kids to see it now.
But, like,
You know what I mean?
like, people would love a movie like this, like, if it was, like, straight up, like, horror porn and stuff like that.
Oh, for sure. And it would actually, like, get positive reviews because of the practical effects. Like, people would rave about this movie.
Exactly.
If somebody put a movie out using the same effects that this movie had today, it would be raved over how great the practical effects were and how they didn't use CGI, you know?
So huge dog-like mass. It's like a dog orgy becoming one dog, and they have to actually take a flamethrower to it because they realize that fire is what puts the beast down.
Fire seems to be the most practical method to take care of the issue.
And then so then they start to like put two and two together and realize that when that thing is near another person, it can begin to kind of like cell copy and then take over that person and make a copy of that person. Yeah.
So, they don't. Wilfred Brimley discovers it.
After doing
using his Atari 2600.
Yeah. Using his Atari 3600. He realizes that it can cell copy.
Yes, and the computer also just takes it upon itself to tell him that if this creature were to reach civilization, that it would be like, what did it say, like 48 hours before the entire fucking world was
I mean,
infected with it
for
or
as
something.
primitive as that computer was,
He didn't even ask. That computer was just like,
that thing took a
hey, by the
serious
way,
leap to conclusions.
yeah. Hey, by the way, we know you're not in civilization right now. If you were to go to civilization, they'd all be fucked. So,
It'd be a
Wilfred Brimley, the stand-up guy that he is, decides that he is not going to let that happen. He's going to fucking kill everybody at this base. He starts smashing computers, destroying all the gadgets that Kurt Russell hasn't already gotten to with this fucking E&J.
Actually, it's J&B. I was just reading. It's J&B Scotch. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
But,
E&J is...
E&J is
different.
like Hennessy or something like that. But
It's-
yeah, my man Wilfred
yeah.
Brimley goes straight up
Brandy.
fucking drunken stepdad style and just starts bashing everything with an axe.
Just starts shooting a gun off in the air.
I never loved your mother! Just like freaking the fuck out. You should have put out more, you bitch!
Yeah. So,
So then they kind of corral Wilfred Brimley and throw him in a hut to kind of like
Yeah.
isolate him a little bit so he can calm the fuck down. Well, then they kind of realize like, you know, maybe he's on to something. Maybe we need to figure out some sort of test to kind of see who is and who is not a thing.
right.
And
the test is shoot him with a flamethrower. I mean, that's...
I
it's
mean,
worked
it
before.
sounds easy enough, but what they decide to do is take a blood sample from everyone and then take and if they expose it to heat and the blood reacts the way that the monster would, then they know that person is the monster.
Yeah.
Which
is where a lot of the tension in this movie comes in, because a lot of these people, like, you know, they have different reasons for being standoffish about this, and like it comes across like, well, you know, if you're the only reason you would be standoffish is if you're fucking infected. That's what's going on. So it's like the whole movie is just you not fucking trusting any of these people.
yeah, that's what, because in the way it's shot is that it always lets the viewer see a member of the team isolated for a brief moment, and then you have to think like, oh, well, maybe Childs is a monster, or like maybe Windows or Fuchs is, and stuff like that. And it always kind of like messes with your mind. And I feel like that was like one of the most gripping parts about the movie, is that it always kind of keeps you guessing.
Yeah. It's definitely constant suspense, because you never know what the fuck's going on.
And I think the real money shot of this movie is the part where Clark literally looks like me if I didn't have a beard. This is heavy set, ginger, curly hair, wearing a fucking turtleneck, looks like a total chode. He has what is presumed to be some sort of a stroke or some sort of cardiac event, and they try to put the paddles to him to kind of like bring him back to life. Now, this is what we were talking about with the
defibrillation paddles.
Yeah. We were talking about the special effects earlier. There was a part where my man goes to hit him with the chest with the paddles.
And the chest just fucking
opens up straight up monster style and bites my man's arms off.
Yes. He pulls his arms out and it's just like bone and veins. Do you know how they did that? Do you know how they pulled that effect off?
I have no clue.
They got an amputee who had lost both of his arms in an industrial accident, and then attached like the bone was just like rubber bone and like tubes for veins and jello and stuff. But like, yeah, they actually, like, it was a dude with no arms. That's how they did it.
And then while that's happening, Clark's head is like pulling itself off of his body and then falls to the floor and then grows like spider-like legs and two like antennae looking eyes out of his head, and then just kind of like scuttles off like a fucking sand crab.
Yeah, like we were saying, like when you expose the thing, or like you get too close to like figuring out who's infected, it just shit hits the fan. Like once the secret's out, it just like goes to town. It's fucking amazing, man. And that's why it got smashed by critics, is because the effects that they use and the graphics that they use when this happens, it's just...
They even explain it in the movie that like the thing, it's like a virus or an alien-like creature. Like it does everything it can to survive. and they realized that Clark's body was basically done for after it like clamped onto my man's arms. So that's why the head separated. So then it could go and scuttle off in hopes to kind of like assimilate to somebody else.
To find a new host.
I tell you what's crazy is that the budget for this movie was $15 million.
Well, that's actually good because it only made 20. This movie was like a total flop. Do you know why this movie was a total flop, Jake?
Did it come out the same weekend as like a Star Wars movie?
E.T. came out the same time as E.T.
Yeah,
so
that's
E.T.
exactly why.
Just fucking crushed this movie. Now it's got a huge following. It's
I feel like,
might I say, a cult classic.
I would absolutely deem
it actually, if I remember correctly, hold on a second. Even critics have like turned around on it. Like, I'm trying to see what it has on Rotten Tomatoes.
probably has at least like a 70.
Ooh, nope, that's the 2011 one. That's not what we want.
Oh no, that's the prequel.
Oh, was that a prequel?
Yeah, they made a prequel.
That was the other thing, too. Like, a lot of people think that this movie is a remake. There's a 1951 movie called... what was it called? A Thing from Another World.
Yeah.
And both movies are based on the same book. But John Carpenter didn't want to just rip off that original movie, the 1951 movie, because he was a big fan of it.
Yeah.
So, he took some liberties. He changed some things up. And, it's got an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes now. So after things have turned around for this movie.
After the big scuttling off of the head crab, they kind of delve into this whole test process of finding out who's a monster and who's not, and it kind of just whittles down, and we're left with Childs, who's Keith David, who still acts, which is awesome. Kurt Russell,
who still acts,
also who's the fucking man, and TK Carter, and they figure out that Wilfred Brimley has also become one of the monsters, and he has been using spare parts around the campsite to build a spaceship. Huge showdown with Wilfred Brimley as a giant monster, and
by the way, what else was Wilfred Brimley in? Like, I know he's got this name. I don't know if I've ever seen another movie with Wilfred. No. This may be the first movie I saw. Keep going. I'll find out.
But yeah, so it comes down and they decided they're just going to blow the whole fucking camp to bits, and that way the monster will be dead, and that way they'll know who is and is not is and is not the thing. Which then spawns one of my favorite ending lines in any movie ever. This monster bursts out of the ground. Fucking... What's his face? Kurt Russell's got a giant thing of dynamite. And for a 1982 movie, he looks at that monster and just says, "Yeah, well, fuck you too." And just throws the dynamite at it. Blows the motherfucker up. And
real quick, side note.
Yeah.
He almost killed himself because that was real dynamite, and they didn't realize how powerful real dynamite was. So when Kurt Russell threw it...
How do you not know how powerful real dynamite is?
Dude, he threw the dynamite, and it actually, blasted him backwards. Like, it did, the thing from movies where, you go flying backwards with your arms and legs out. Yeah, he almost fucking killed himself with dynamite. That was legit in that scene.
What is he gonna fucking pour Brandon Lee? And fucking get shot by a prop gun that's a real gun?
Yeah. Well, I saw some country music singer just got shot.
Yeah, I saw that too.
The other day. It's dangerous, man.
Wish it was all country singers.
Whoa! Sorry. Can't say that. You can't talk about Garth Brooks like that. Gee?
He's done. His career's done.
He just sold out Notre Dame.
Yeah, he's a loser.
Nah, he's a serial killer.
He probably is a serial killer.
More on that later.
So yeah. Whole camp gets blown to bits, just down to Kurt Russell and Keith David, and they both, with their backs to each other, just decide to just sit there and wait it out and wait to see if anybody will come save them, and they drink the J&B scotch, and that's kind of how it ends up. So you don't really know if either one of them or the thing, which kind of just...
I know. I do know. I do know.
What
So
do
when
you-
the movie was made, right? The movie was made. It was designed to end kind of ambiguously, where, like you said, you don't know what happened. You don't know if either of them had been infected through the course of this.
Yes.
Later on, I believe it was when the Blu-ray was released, they interviewed some of the cast, and they had interviewed, I can't remember who it was, but basically this guy, it was one of the, prop designers or something. He was saying that they subtly indicated who was infected and who wasn't infected through the entire movie. There was a way to know.
Really?
They used, it's called an eye light, and basically it's like just this bright light that would be opposite the actor. So when they were talking, you would have that white dot in their eye, and the white dot was to indicate life, like to indicate that they were still alive and hadn't been overtaken by the thing.
Okay.
And if you go back and watch the final scene, they're having a conversation, and the camera keeps cutting back and forth between Kurt Russell and the other guy. I'm drawing a blank.
Keith David.
Keith David. And every time they show Kurt Russell, he's got the white dot in his eye, and every time they show Keith David, it's just black, like there's nothing. So if you go by that, at the end of that movie, Kurt Russell was not infected. But
Kurt Russell's not infected because Kurt Russell's the fucking man,
Kurt
dude.
Russell, he went on to be in other movies and stuff, obviously. So what was his name in the movie?
Childs
Was infected.
Childs was infected.
That's the theory. So that'd be fun to go back and watch the movie and see if you can if that is legit through the entire movie.
Yeah, that's definitely
look for that light.
I'll have to rewatch that just for that.
By the way, Wilfred Brimley, he's had a career, man.
Has he really?
Fuck yeah, dude. He's been in like 50 movies. Cocoon, The Thing, The Natural.
Did not know he was in Cocoon.
The Firm. He was in Ewoks Battle for Endor, which I didn't even know existed. Some sort of Star Wars spin-off.
Oh my god. Some sort of Star Wars porno where he gets to bang an Ewok.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a lot going on. He was in Hard Target.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Hard Target
man.
was Seagal?
No, Jean-Claude.
No,
Van Damme.
Jean-Claude, JCVD.
Yeah. Let's see.
Fuck
Anything else
yeah,
good here?
dude.
Yeah,
I want to see him. I want to see
Brimley's got
Wilfred
it.
Brimley in Bloodsport.
As one of the fighters.
That's one of the fighters.
Well, he was in a movie called Tough Enough that actually, as you said that.
Supreme Kumite.
As you said that, the poster came up and I thought it was Bloodsport because it's like Bloodsport if Bloodsport starred Dennis Quaid instead of fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Dennis Quaid should never be in any type of action movie, ever.
Well, he was. It was called Tough Enough.
Not to be confused with the awful wrestling TV show.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to just stick to mentioning pro wrestling at least once every episode we do.
I think so. That's what we're here
change.
for. We're full of useless wrestling knowledge.
And useless Wilfred Brimley knowledge.
Apparently. Not to mention all of his testing supplies commercials.
Yeah. Let's see, man. I think we did it. I think we pretty much covered the thing. It's fucking, like I said, I mean, I'm not shitting on it by any means. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the special effects. I highly recommend you check this out. It's kind of hard to find. It's not streaming free anywhere. I had to buy it on I bought it on Vudu, the streaming service Vudu.
Oh, Voodoo, yes.
But it wasn't much. I think it was like $9.99 or something. It's worth it. It's worth $10 for sure.
I would, my buddy and I recently did, before they decided to close it down, the Trocadero did movie night, and him and I actually went and saw The Thing at the Trocadero in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's definitely worth, if you want to see, where horror / thriller movies were.
It's a good mix of the two.
Yeah, it's a good mix. It's
well
the
balanced.
perfect mix, if you ask me. But it's a good way. It's a good place to see where movies were to compare to where they're at now. I mean, definitely the quality as far as plot was exponentially better then as it is now, because movies now just are just not what they used to be.
It's movies now. It's all formulaic. Like they try to follow the same. Like let's do this. Let's do this. This guy's gonna be funny. We're gonna have some comedy.
It's one of the first movies that kind of made the viewer think about what was going to happen, as opposed to them just spelling it out for you.
Yeah, it's if you want a horror movie that's not just a guy killing a bunch of teenagers, this is a good one to go to. I forget. I was going to say something, and I can't remember what it was now, but it doesn't matter, really. Hey! Nothing matters. Nothing really matters.
Nothing
In the end, nothing really matters. Before we get out of here, Jake, you talk a big game, and I've pulled up a The Thing trivia quiz, and I'm going to put your knowledge to the test. How does that sound?
All right.
How does that sound? And I haven't gone through this. These might be just super easy questions. I just pulled it up, and I figure we'll go through it. We'll see how Jake does, and hopefully we can embarrass him on his own pod. Jake, what country are the men in the helicopter from in the opening scene?
Norway.
It's one of those. It's not going to tell you if you're right or wrong till the end. I don't think.
Okay.
That one was right though. Even I knew that. What is the first thing that brings the Thing into the U.S. camp?
The dog.
Okay. These are multiple choice, by the way. If you need the multiple choice, let me know. Who does R.J. McCready take with him to the other camp?
Give me my options.
Palmer, Blair, Doc Cooper, Childs.
Doc Cooper.
When the Thing attacks the dogs, what is used to try and burn it?
Flamethrower.
All right. Who cuts McCready loose of the line on the way back from his shack?
Options.
Clark, Windows, Childs, Knowles.
Knowles.
Hey, real quick, let's pause this. Let's pause because there was something that I needed to say. Can we take a minute? When, so they do the initial exploration of the Norwegian camp, right?
Yes.
Then they come back, and then they decide that they're going to go up in a helicopter. And they're going to try to see what's in this crater. And what's in the crater is the spaceship, where the spaceship crashed.
Yes.
When the aliens initially came. Can we take a fucking minute to talk about the Arby's hat that Kurt Russell wears on this fucking expedition? What was that?
Yo, man, sometimes you gotta explore the great frontier with an Arby's hat. My man
Dude,
was ready to lasso somebody up with some curly fries.
They're all like, it's first of all, there's no warmth from that hat. Everybody else is bundled up in like snow gear. And
he had those long flowing locks of brown hair and that thick beard to keep him warm.
This Yosemite Sam ass hat.
This Pharrell Williams looking hat.
It was such a fucking bonkers choice. And they never reference it. Nobody's ever like, funny? Hey, what the fuck are you doing
after that movie came out, people were like, I'm gonna get me one of them hats.
I'm looking right now. It is a beaver hat.
Oh.
I found it, the Thing classic movie hat. And we can get one for $450, Jake.
Dude, you know what I always wanted was the
dollars.
I wanted the glasses that McCready had.
What does this mean? Okay, hold on a second. Yeah, the glasses are badass.
Yeah.
That's for real. Hey, so we can, all right. I'm out of my element here. We can get this hat, Jake, for $450. We can either get 20 times beaver, 5 times beaver, or 100 times beaver.
I mean, obviously the option is to get 100 times beaver.
What does that mean?
More beaver, the better. I'm probably like the amount of pure beaver pelt that they're using as opposed to fake.
Okay, so you want to go 100 times beaver. How big's your head?
I'm like a 7 3/4.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the same as baseball hats, huh?
Yeah.
That was an option. All right, you got your card number?
No, I'm not buying that fucking hat.
Dude, with 100 times beaver, we can get this hat. You can buy it from me, your best podcast friend. It's only $760 fucking dollars.
Fucking dollar. No thanks. Get back to the trivia.
All right, back to the trivia. That's a fucking nice hat. You think they paid $700? Maybe that's why that was the whole fucking budget for the movie.
Yeah.
All right, I lost the trivia in my tabs. Where the fuck did it go? Here we go.
I'm disgusted
All right.
with you.
How does Fuchs die?
Fuchs die. What are my options?
He's attacked by the dogs. He's burned accidentally. He burns himself.
Burns
the thing
himself.
cuts his head off.
Burns himself.
Okay. Whose blood is infected when the blood test is administered?
Options.
Bennings, Windows, Gary, Palmer.
I'll say Gary. That's probably wrong.
Oh, that's a guess. You didn't sound very confident about
I
that.
know.
What has Blair been constructing beneath the tool shed?
UFO or spaceship.
Spaceship. Okay. Of those who are tied down, whose blood will be tested last?
Child's.
All right, last question. How many people... Oh, you got this one. How many people are left alive at the end of the movie?
2.
Let's see. Submit my answers. Jake,
50.
you got all except for 2. You got 2 wrong.
That's okay.
Whose blood was infected when they administered the blood test? You said Gary. The answer is Palmer. And of those tied down, whose blood was tested last? You said Childs. The answer was Gary.
Childs
Gary.
Childs is first, probably.
Gary was Donald Moffat's character, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. Did you rewatch this movie for this episode, or you just
I did not.
just
I
go
haven't
on
watched it
straight
maybe
memory?
probably like 6 months or so.
Wow, that was impressive. Then it was very impressive.
I've also seen
You
it
went through it point to point.
like 20 times probably.
Yeah. So there it is. Check out The Thing. Check out John Carpenter's The Thing. And while you're at it, check out his. I have a feeling if we keep doing this
Movie night.
this movie night thing, John Carpenter will be back.
John Carpenter will absolutely be back.
Yeah, there's too many. There are some fucking hitters on this list. Can I just go through real quick?
We got some hitters out here. What do you got?
We got Halloween. Obviously, we talked about it. We have The Thing. Obviously, we talked about it. They Live. We talked about that one. We didn't mention the late great Roddy Piper, and one of the greatest lines of all time in that fucking thing. You got
100%.
Big Trouble in Little China. Christine, Stephen King's Christine, which actually was his rebound movie because The Thing almost ended John Carpenter's career.
Yeah,
like
you're
he
absolutely
was,
right.
he was like
They had him on the
outcast
ropes
from Hollywood. Yeah, like it flopped so bad that people were like, "Nah, he's done, dude."
Yeah.
And Christine kind of brought him back from fucking obscurity. What else do we have here? Let's talk Assault on Precinct 13, Halloween 2, Escape from LA, Escape from New York. Starman I never saw, but I want to see that. That's like a sci-fi love story by John Carpenter.
Isn't it
have you
Matthew
seen it?
Broderick in that? I'm thinking War Games.
Yeah, you're thinking War Games. Which, fuck yeah, dude. Also, we should do War Games. War Games is the shit. No, Starman is Jeff Bridges is the Starman.
Okay.
Your boy Jeff Bridges. I love me some Jeff Bridges, and it's a
love
young
Jeff
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
What else we have? I mean, I'm not gonna mention all the Halloween movies he did because it just keeps going.
Yeah.
But
that was his baby.
Yeah.
John Carpenter's Vampires is pretty good.
He had some heavy hitters. Dude, John Carpenter did Tootsie? Did you know that?
Did not know that. I mean, what you doing out here doing Tootsie?
Well, he did a Lovecraft movie back in 2008.
Yo, was it Reanimator? Because if it was Reanimator, that movie fucking bangs, dude.
No, it's called Lovecraft Fear of the Unknown.
Reanimator is definitely a movie we should do because that movie fucking rules.
I've never seen Reanimator either.
It's got the guy from The Frighteners in it with Michael J. Fox.
You got me on some War Game shit right now. That wasn't Reanimator.
Got me all hype on War Games. I'm trying to see some prime Matthew Broderick.
Reanimator was directed by Stuart Gordon.
Ah, yes. Stuart Gordon.
Stuart Gordon, who he's pretty much known for Reanimator.
Yep.
And Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, I mean, those are two pretty solid movies, though.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if we should. We're gonna keep doing this. And we're gonna keep finding more movies. We got to make a list of movies we want to do for this podcast. I want to do Troll 2. We talked about that. I want to do fucking like every John Carpenter movie. Apparently. All right, dude. Yeah, it's on. We gotta.
Now, the viewers out there, or listeners, if they have an idea, please feel free to reach out to us at our Gmail, which is the Depths Podcast at gmail.com.
Yep.
Or you can hit Paul or I up on Instagram at the Depthscast.
Wait a second. Hold on. Stop.
What is our You stop.
Stop. You're supposed you. I say, hey Jake, we're on Instagram, and then you say this. You don't just take it upon your fucking self to start giving out Instagram.
Look, I'm an adult too. I can do things as well.
All right, fine. You want to mess up the whole dichotomy of our podcast? Dichotomy. That's a thing that we invented.
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
I'm on Instagram at Jake Watts. Paul is on Instagram at The Breeding Nuclear. We're on Spotify. We're on the Apple Podcast app. We're on YouTube. We are on Computerized
Stitcher.
Chess.
We're on Computerized
Chess.
Wilfred Brimley's Atari 2600. You just did the right game.
Yeah. Feel free to hit us up. We're on the Apple. We're on the Podcast Addict app. Just gotta click the little thing that says Apple Podcast as well. We're on all types of fucking media outlets. Just make sure that you like and subscribe and give us a 5-star fucking rating.
Anywhere you get your pods, you can find us. Also, tell your friends, dude, because we don't pay for advertising yet. Maybe in the future, but for now, we don't pay for advertising. So if you tell your friend, if you know somebody that you think would like the stupid bullshit that we talk about,
let them know.
Say something. Oh, Turbo Kid, dude. We gotta do Turbo Kid.
Oh, we definitely gotta fucking do Turbo Kid.
All right, dude.
We also have a Facebook fan page thing that we do stuff on. Check that out. Well,
join that. We're trying to grow that. Join the conversation. That's probably the best way to communicate with both of us, because we're both on there and we can both just reply.
Yeah.
And, we'll be your best friends. If you need a best friend,
or if you need someone to come to your house
buddy
and assimilate your cells and take over your body and then try to wreak havoc upon humanity, we can do that too.
Yeah, that's kind of more Jake's thing than mine.
That's more my thing than anyone else.
We'll get it done. We'll get it done for you.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. That's it. That was good. Okay. Love you all.
Bye.